right, I'm going to do a bottle form like that one upstairs. And I was talking about how I use, paper templates and stuff. And this is basically the template that I'll use for that. And I have, over the years, I just keep gathering these things. But this is my template book.
You are well organized.
See, there's that Gothic window from the Frankenstein piece. These are like more of a free form. And I got great big giant bottles I've done, big forms, little bottles. Usually I just slap the clay down on here and I get it thinned out a bit, and it would be thicker. But I use, for the most part, I use paper. I use an old sheet of drywall for what I'm going to roll out on. I don't want any texture on it, and I've created these strips of wood. I didn't have a slab roller when I started out, so I created these, and the OCD, I color-coded them, and I've got numbers for progression. This is just a dowel from Home Depot, and I start in the middle. I put a sheet of paper top, sheet of paper bottom, and I'm going to go right at the middle. And I'm going to push down, and I'm going to go halfway out, come back halfway to me. So that means I only have to push all that clay halfway, and not the whole way. So that's what we got. Yeah, pass that around.
I know, but it'd be kind of cool to put all our fingerprints in there.
That's how I make the sheets of clay. To do the impressions is a little different process. What I did is I rolled out some sheets of clay before we went upstairs, and I just kind of threw on this and cut them out loosely to make sure that I had pieces that would be one for the front, one for the back, and then this or this can be the base. And then I'm going to have sides, and that's what this longer piece is for, is the sides. First, we're going to concentrate on the bottle form, and then I'm going to do the neck last. I do the neck last because I hate doing the necks. Now this thing, it shoots out, so I'm going to cover it up a little bit like that. And I use a toothbrush to work it around. And this is a broken printing plate. There's a couple pieces missing, so I always have to hand draw parts of it. I think that's actually enough. So I'm going to go ahead and put her right there. I'm just sort of eyeballing this. Give me one more good one. Sometimes I use the roller. That's a pretty good one. Now you can see where there's chunks of it missing, and there's funny little things. I just use my finger as an eraser, and like this bump here, and just go around and around, just take that out. So if you can picture, this is the bottle front, and there's going to be these sides. I'm going to do the sides right now. And how I do it is, depending on how tall the piece is, depends on how thick it should be. I'm going to use this as my measurement for how thick it is. Okay, now we're going to cut these out. We're going to set those right there for now. Oh, let's do this. This is the bottom part. That's going to be where the signature goes, the base of it. And I'll just go and cut these because it can be the same width. Now when I cut this, when I made these, I saved the negative out of it too, and I use that as like a little window. And I can kind of position it to see how I want it to be. And then I stick that on there, pop that out, and then I cut around. So I take these and I lay them like that. so that they will start to dry in the final shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of water, and I'm going to score this. I'll just put a glob of this stuff there, trying to keep it fairly straight. I'm just going to clear off a lot of this slurry with this paintbrush. And now I'm going to kind of approximate where this is at. Again, this awesome tool. Now I get my glue. I put a lot on. I'd rather have too much on because I can always take it off. So the first swipes I do clean that up. Then the second one I come back and I kind of, if there's a spot that's a little gunky, I'll kind of push it down and push it into place. Okay, now I will scuff. We're going to put that other side onto here. So I'm going to scuff all this stuff up. This is for all the marbles now. And I got that paper under it, so I can kind of stand it up. And I can still shift this a little bit. Try to get it so it'll be as vertical as possible, or at a 90 degrees, so it's not like curved. That's pretty good. So the next thing I do is I got to secure that panel to those sides, and I just go around and tap it. That's a pretty good bind. It's bound on there pretty good. That'll clean it up. And I'm just going to cut like a little tiny hole. But then I'm going to blow into it. And it's thin enough, I'll do it this way. It's thin enough that you can see it expand. Okay. That's pretty good. But the only thing left now is the neck. After I've made it, I'll put it in this. And it creates kind of a little terrarium. You know, it's like a little moisture barrier. Move it a little bit, and I rock it. And again, I just glop this thing up with just a ton of this stuff. Same thing here. I clean it all up. When that's totally bone dry, I'll put it in a kiln and I fire to 06 for bisque. Most of my work is 06 glazes or raku glazes, and those all go to 06 again. So whatever its size it comes out at the kiln, that's the size it'll be when it's finally fired.
Well, I'm gonna tell a story, well, so sad but true. It's a story about life. You think by now I might have learned what to do. But I missed the bus, I missed the plane, I missed the boat, I missed the train, I missed the cab, I missed my walking shoes. It's the story of my life, and I lose.